Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again with part 3 of Ayub Qassim's waffle session. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it was. A lot of waffle with a lot of syrup, a lot of lies, a lot of deceit. I mean, there was probably a few truths in there, but a lot of BS. For those that haven't watched part 1 and part 2, make sure you go and check that out before you watch this one. And I think there might even be a part 4 because there's just over an hour left of this podcast to go through. Now, I want to start here. This is about 5 minutes to the end of part 2. Now, the reason why I want to go back to this bit is because I want to re-listen to how Ayub explains the process of getting out of the car and going into the Airbnb and what then happened in the Airbnb. Let's listen to this.
Cut the long story short, my pal was sleeping on the passenger. Like, he's pretty much knocked out from the moment he got in the car, do you know what I'm saying? And so there was a bit where I was just videoing him and that, just catching a laugh, do you know what I'm saying? And I'm videoing him, just joking about. And then me and Jay get out of the car, and then I'll get to the front of the car and I'm videoing him still, do you know what I'm saying? And then
So he's basically confirming that he was videoing him before Jay got out the car, but for some reason he doesn't want to show us Jay.
Just laughing about how he's just bare slumped in the car, like with his seatbelt on, but his head's just like tilted to the left.
So they're using that as a way of proving that Jay was with them, but in the footage we don't see Jay. We just think we're hearing Jay.
You know what I'm saying? We were just laughing about that. And then I ended up waking him up saying, "Yo, bro, we're back now." And then he's just literally walked in, cut into the house, and went straight to bed. You know what I'm saying? And then
so he went straight to bed, and that's the last we ever hear of Rocky. So when you ask Ayub to tell us about what happened whilst Jay was at the Airbnb, there's no mention of Rocky ever again.
Jay followed behind, and then I followed him. You know what I'm saying? And then
so look, that right there, Rocky goes in, Jay follows, and he goes in behind. How do you remember the formation of how you entered the house, but can't remember whether you landed before Rocky, after Rocky, with Rocky? Like, you can't remember that, but you can specifically remember, and you say it with confidence as well, Rocky goes in first, Jay follows, and I'm the last one to go in. Like, he remembers that. He fully remembers that. The only time Rocky is allegedly mentioned is when Mark Williams Thomas is looking for 2 people. One he believes is Johnny Vegas. But all of a sudden, Rocky's being used as the decoy to cover for someone to make it look like he was the person that stayed at the Airbnb or was at the Airbnb with Ayub. Where we see Rocky sleeping in that car, Rocky probably stayed in that car, never got out the car, and was driven back to his hotel from there. The more I think about it, I'm more compelled to believe that this was actually premeditated. But Rocky wasn't involved in it. Rocky just happened to be friends with a person that was involved in it. And that friend used Rocky, but then promised Rocky that he was cool if they used him in terms of the media. But they never was able to get Rocky's full name. They was never able to speak to Rocky. They just needed to use him as the face of this person. But I don't think Rocky stayed or even stepped foot into that Airbnb.
I was like, "Bro, that's over there. That's you, innit? I'll go upstairs. I'll grab you a blanket or something." I think the pillows must have been on the sofa already. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the sofa pillows, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think I got him. And I went, "Yo, bro, that's you." And I remember, I got him a towel. I said, "Yo, and that's a towel for in the morning when you wake up. When you grab a shower, that's you, my boy." So I made sure he's sweet. He asked me for ciggies. I gave him ciggies.
But what about Rocky? Did Rocky see if he was sweet? Did Rocky engage with him? Did Rocky not ask him anything? Rocky didn't want no water to rehydrate himself after he was passed out in the car. He didn't want something to eat. What are you telling me? You bought a kebab and Rocky fell asleep that quick? Or Rocky didn't even have some of the kebab? Didn't he have none of the kebab? No? Did you just buy a kebab and within 15, 20 minutes, Rocky's knocked out like that? But then it also contradicts what you said, because you said Rocky was knocked out from the moment you got in the car from the strip. So when you stopped off to have that kebab, Rocky never had no kebabs then, right? Rocky didn't wake up at that point? Didn't start eating with you and Jay? No? Where did you really stop off? Again, Rocky's part to play in this story is very, very minimal. He has no part to play. He slept in the car all the way from the strip to the Airbnb and got straight into bed. Never seen and never heard of again. He was there in the car sleeping, but I don't ever think he got out and stepped foot in the Airbnb, took the picture of Rocky and probably let him know that they had the picture, but they knew that picture could come in handy to help them corroborate a story in the future. But unfortunately for Ayub, showing us that picture proves that you lied again. Why? Because of this. And what you can see on the screen is Ayub and Rocky in the corner at the NRG festival at 1:30 in the morning. You can tell by what Rocky's wearing at the festival, it is Rocky in the car. He's got the man bag, he's got the white t-shirt, and the person that's standing right next to him who's a bit chubbier is clearly Ayub. But guess what? Ayub claimed that he was never at NRG, especially at that time in the morning. And that's the footage from where Jay's out of his face with his t-shirt off, standing there with Brandon, who's looking at him stone cold. I say standing there, Jay's waving all over the place, looks like he's about to fall. People are just knocking into him. And Brandon decides to walk over to who? Lucy, who's coming down the stairs. This is all at 1:30 in the morning. We've got two people in this scene, one who claims they wasn't at NRG and the other who claims they left early and went home alone. Both lying. That footage was the last official footage that anyone had seen of Jay. Anyone, including his parents. He wasn't seen after that, and they haven't proven that Jay was alive there after that, other than fabricated pictures. Even the authorities in Spain haven't given us no evidence, CCTV evidence, to prove that Jay left that festival, that Jay was compos mentis, he was confident, he knew what he was doing. There is nothing whatsoever. There's a story that come out earlier on in the June that suggested Jay was carried on the shoulder by someone and taken to the beach. And this is the reason why people started believing that the beach footage had to have been Jay.
And I went upstairs now. You know, just like you're about to go to bed, you're just on your Snapchat, just chatting shit just before you go to bed, like, you know what I'm saying? And then while that's going on, I can hear him obviously downstairs. Like the door was like a metal door, so you can hear.
This is the bit I wanted to point out. He said that he slept for about an hour after getting back to the Airbnb, but he confirms here that he was on his Snapchat and social media for a bit. And then he could hear the door downstairs. So he knew it was Jay going out the door. Well, how did he know it was Jay? Why wouldn't it have been Rocky? It could have been Rocky going in and out the house, opening the door. He doesn't know. He's upstairs, he claimed. But he's painting a picture as if it's Jay downstairs, and Jay would have made these movements, and every sound that could have been heard in the house come from Jay. Again, it's a narrative that's being painted to make it look like Jay was fucking there.
Hear it like whether it's going to creak or make that noise, you know what I'm saying? So I could tell he's going out the door smoking a cig and whatnot. And then I don't know at what point I slept, but I do know we come back around 6:30, 6:45. That's what time we went back. And then around 8-ish, just before 8, I heard the buzzer.
Same time that Lucy got the phone call, which again doesn't make any sense.
And
I'm gonna talk about the phone call where Jay was in the ditch cut by a cactus.
I was asleep for a good 45 minutes up to an hour by that time anyway. So I heard the buzzer and then I could hear movement. Obviously, Jay's like woken up, but or I don't know even if he's.
Look, that's when he realized you're saying too much. How can you tell us that Jay had woken up when you're upstairs and you wouldn't even know if Jay was awake or asleep? Slipping up again, slipping up.
Was he awake since because you got to remember, like, there's only like it's only an
we
hour
know,
space,
we
you know what I'm
know.
saying?
We
So
do actually
he could have
know. We're
even
not
been
stupid.
awake, you know what I'm saying? Or he could have
We're
been
not
going
stupid.
in that could have been the time where he's sleeping nearly and then he heard the buzzer, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but I heard him moving, like, but he didn't open the door. So I just like giggled to myself, like thinking, oh, he's shitting it down there a bit. Like,
so you giggled to yourself and thought he was fucking shitting it down there. Make that make sense. Why would he be shitting it down there?
you know what I'm saying, why didn't he open the door? You know what I'm saying? So
Is that your way of saying that could have been the reason why Mark Williams Thomas said he left the Airbnb scared? I'm telling you now, he's really playing mind
he
games.
just ran downstairs and I was like, yo, G, and he went, oh, bro, that's wigged my head out, that buzzer, you know? And then,
but what about Rocky? If Jay's telling you the buzzer's that loud, it's hurting his head, but Rocky ain't saying nothing. Rocky's just, he's just sleeping. Let's just make sure Rocky stays asleep the whole time This guy doesn't even wake up. He doesn't even know we checked out of this Airbnb. He's still there sleeping, blood.
Just for those, like, just a little side note, there are people saying there ain't a buzzer in there. How'd you know? I lived it. Do you know what I'm saying? That button on the right where someone's put it on TikTok and think is the light, which is actually the buzzer. Do you know what I'm saying?
We've already heard this. I've already confirmed that he's lying on this bit because I know people that have already gone to that Airbnb. They've pressed that light switch and it turns on the little light that's up there. Yeah, he's literally waffling here. We're going to move on. Hold on. Another thing that I just realized, if Ayub didn't know Ophelia and couldn't speak fluent Spanish at the time, how the hell did he know that the two people Ophelia was with were husband and son? How would he know? And he says it with confidence, like he knows it's her husband and son. But how would he know that?
This woman standing there, which I later to be known was Ophelia, this old man, and then their son, but he's not like a child.
Their
He's
son.
like an adult son. Do you know what I'm saying?
He's like an adult son.
And then this geezer looked a bit, I thought, what's going on here? Like, he had a wheelbarrow and his t-shirt was like halfway up his belly, right? So I was like, that's when I said to myself, these look like characters from the Hills of Ice. Do you know what I'm saying?
So, I mean, again, how does he know that that's her son and her husband? How would you know that?
It's mad, innit? Like, not that I'm judging them and that, but you know what I'm saying? So they kind of said to me, like, from what they were saying, like, they're speaking Spanish. I know bits of Spanish. And from what I gathered, they were just basically like, hermano, can you move your car, basically? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, cool. I'll move it. Let me just go back upstairs and wear my t-shirt and my shorts.
Again, doesn't really speak Spanish. They speak Spanish. He gathered they were asking him to move his car. And it's another part that doesn't make any sense. After Jay left, he says that he goes back to bed and then he receives a call from his friend. Let's listen to what he says again.
My boy rang me, the one I know him through, and said, oh,
that's clearly Brandon. Originally, he said Lucy. I'm sure he said Lucy called him.
Lad, like, my man's gone missing. And my reaction at the time was like, mate, I fucking told him I'll give him a lift in a couple of hours. Only if he waited. Do you know what I mean? That's you lot's problem. I'm going to bed now, bro. I said, look, your mate's sweet. Like, it's all good. Like, he come here in one piece. He left in one piece.
That right there. Again, it's like he said the same thing before, but said it in a different way. He came alive, he left alive. He came in one piece, he left in one piece. He then goes on to say,
done my part. You know what I'm saying?
I've done my part. I mean, what part was you doing? I don't understand. You're going on like they knew you was doing this for them. You was doing this for them. So you was looking after Jay for them. Because that's how he's putting it across.
As a friend.
As a friend.
Remember, the whole reason I did let him come with me, and I said, yo, you're cool to come, is because just a week before, 2 weeks before, the last time I was around, me and one of my friends got into a mad argument because he felt that I've left one of his friends left one of his friends behind. You know what I'm saying?
Again, talking waffle. This is where we literally got to in part 2. So now everything we see from here is going to be new.
So I don't want to fall out with another friend now because I've left his friend, or he feels like I've left his friend. So, and genuinely, that's the whole reason, one of the main reasons.
Hold on. You don't want to fall out with a friend because he feels like you left one of his friends. He's the one that left his friend with you. Brad left him with you. Lucy left him with you. How can they feel any type of way? How can they feel any type of way if they left their friend? It makes no sense. You are trying to make it look like they never done nothing wrong, when really and truly Jay should be with them and not you. But you've got no explanation as to why Jay's with you, other than his friends magically disappeared and he was begging, he was adamant that he wanted to go to your Airbnb in the mountains. That's it. The moment he decides to get there, he stays there for less than an hour and then he wants to shoot off. And then Brandon calls you and tells you he's missing. And your reaction is, oh, I told him he should have stayed. I would have gave him a lift in a couple of hours. Again, this is straight up BS, man.
Where I thought, you know what I mean? Like, I genuinely, like, it's just about...
Even Colin looks a bit confused there.
Fairness and, like, do you know what I mean? And, like, you don't want to leave no one anyway, do you know what I'm saying, bro? Especially if you're cool with their people. Even if you don't know no one. you don't want to leave them anyway, but especially if you're cool with their people. Do you know what I mean?
We don't know what you mean.
So when you went downstairs, you said, "Oh, I laughed because I knew he was shitting." What made you feel that? Was it just the way he was acting? Did he come across?
And no, like, what made me feel that is because if someone buzzes the door, you stand up and open the door. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe out of respect, he might be thinking, it ain't my gaff, I ain't just opening the door. That could be a different thing. Do you know what I'm saying? But that kind of movement, that's what I kind of gathered in it.
So you kind of gathered he was shook. Why didn't you tell us that before? You wasn't telling us he was moving all shook before. Now all of a sudden you're saying that he's moving shook after Mark Williams Thomas has come out and told us that he believes Jay left the Airbnb in fear. He feared for his life. That's why he left. People have asked you, what was he doing? You know what? I'm never going to spoil it. I'm pretty sure Colin's going to ask you as well.
Do you feel like he was on edge for some reason with you, or?
Nah, because I mean, obviously from like conversations like from that investigating guy and all of that, and he told me like he had a knife on him and that. And that did kind of make me think, why you got a knife on you? Like, do you know what I mean? And from speaking to my friend, he messaged him as well during the night and went, "Oh, are these lads sweet?" and that. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's obviously going through something in his own head. I don't know if through experience, if he's had a bad situation with people or...
Hold on. Why did you not tell us that before? Firstly, you would know if Jay's feeling some type of way, whether he was feeling shook, feeling scared. He wouldn't be with you if he was shook, unless you threatened him and forced him into the car. When Mark Williams Thomas come out and told us about the 2 knives, you said you don't know why he would have had 2 knives. You can't confirm if he had 2 knives. You don't remember if he had 2 knives. I'm not too sure where he got that information from. Nobody knows where he got that information from at this point. I'm starting to think it could be Brandon, perhaps. As far as Ayub was concerned, that information was new to him, and the only place he had heard that information from was the private investigator. But he knew that Jay never had 2 knives. He just never said, he never said that. He never said that Jay was cool. He never had 2 knives. I never see him with 2 knives. This made it look like what Mark Williams Thomas had said was gospel, and if anything, he should have been fearing for his life because he had 2 knives. But come on, bro, you know what Jay was on. You were with Jay. You said everything was sweet. Did Jay have 2 knives or not? Did Jay move like he was scared or not? You should know that. As far as I'm aware, and as far as I've gathered from what you have said over the past 4 months or whatever it's been, Jay was not scared. Jay had no reason to be scared. But this, what you're saying about Brandon, whereby Jay allegedly texted him asking if you guys were sweet, that makes no sense. And you've never said that before. Why would Jay go all the way to the Airbnb with you and then ask his friends if you are sweet? He was adamant. He was begging to go to the Airbnb, to the mountains. And then when he gets there, he then decides to ask his friends if Ayub and Rocky are sweet. Let's not even say Rocky, because I don't think Rocky was even there. Rocky went into the bedroom, and in that bedroom, there was a portal. He walked through that portal and went back to UK.
Like, obviously, there's things that have come out, something about, like, thingy with some other guy from his area and something he got arrested for prior. But I'm not going to go into that because none of my business. And who are me, you to talk about? Look how we started the thing. Do you know what I'm saying? We met each other in because of crime. Do you know what I'm saying? However you want to put it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not here one to judge people, especially people that are not here. Do you know what I'm saying, bro? And in no way is my intention to come on.
So he's mentioned that more or less again. He said that twice. Why would he say that twice in the interview, that he's not here to judge someone and he wouldn't judge someone based on actions that they had done before, if they had done something bad before? Like, this is the second time he's actually said this in the whole podcast. And the only thing Jay could have done, and the only thing he could have been alluding to initially, was the thing that Jay originally done, which was the Tom Hilton thing. So maybe the people have got it right out there, whereby Ayub is involved with that crew in Lancashire. Remember, in jail, you build connections, especially when you're a drug dealer and you're trying to do OT. You're linking up with people in jail, especially crackheads and junkies. You can find out where they're from, go to their area and take over their area. When Ayub was in jail, you can't tell me this guy weren't scheming and connecting with different people from different parts of the UK. And maybe, just maybe, he connected with someone in Lancashire. Could be Tom Hilton's dad, and that's what's been said online. I can't say that's true. The fact that he's close to Brandon and Lucy, who are also close to Tom Hilton, I mean, it is definitely plausible at this point.
Say this or that, or he was like that. From what I gathered, I can only speak from personal point of view. Do you know what I'm saying?
I have to say, Ayub shouldn't have done this podcast. Because I'm telling you now, the people that have really been invested in this case, that have really been connecting the dots, there is so much in this podcast that you can dissect that will help you understand the true pieces to the puzzle. And I think we are literally getting so closer based on this podcast. You guys been chatting so much BS. You know when he's making it up, and you know when he's regurgitating something that's already been written. And what I mean by that is the plan for them to get out of what they've done is already written, because they put that plan together months ago. And he proved it in this podcast by saying that Rocky walked in, Jay followed, and I followed in after that. He could confidently say that as if he remembered it like it was yesterday, but he couldn't remember who landed first in Tenerife. Was it him? Was it Rocky? Was it LK? If Ophelia isn't fully involved in this and hasn't been influenced to say what she said, and she literally thought she saw Jay, then LK, in my opinion, is the person she actually see. For some reason, I don't think they used LK as a decoy. I don't think it. I actually think Ophelia was influenced by someone to tell the Guardia Civil or tell the media or whoever that she saw Jay walking up that way. And the reason I say that is because if she genuinely saw Jay walking up that way, she would have been more open and more comforting to the family and the friends. She would have invited them in for cups of tea. She would have been asking for updates. She would have been doing what she can to show them support. How would she go so cold and distance herself from what actually happened? Bearing in mind, she claims she's the last person to see Jay alive.
And from what I know, and my pal did say he kind of messaged him to make sure, yo, are these, is your pal all right? Like upstairs. And my guy said to him, yo, come off it, bro. He's sweet. You know what I mean? And that was like a good 20 minutes, 10 minutes before he left. I don't know. And I do believe, though, and from information, that there was a lot of texting going on back and forth with these people. Because you got to remember, bro, like, the only
So you know that there was a lot of texting going back and forth between Jay and his people. How would you have known that? The only people that could actually tell you that Jay was texting his friends are the friends. Unless you had his phone at the Airbnb and you was pretending to text the friends through Jay's phone. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, because I do believe the pictures were fabricated. I believe it was Brad that took the blanket picture. And because of that picture, Rachel freaked out and therefore had to come to the rescue. She needed to make sure that Brad was not implicated. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they did send text messages to maybe Lucy or to and from someone's phone to make it look like Jay was actively sending messages to people. I definitely believe those Snapchat pictures were fabricated. So if they fabricated the pictures, then they're definitely fabricating these messages and these phone calls, aren't they?
The reason I'm in a situation where I am now is because he left mine and told them that he left mine. You get what I'm saying? And
there we go. That's another kind of little alibi. Look, he told them that he left mine. So you're telling me he told them that he left yours. When did he tell them that he left yours? And at that point, why was there no cab called? Why was there nothing arranged for Jay to get home safely? But this is him and the friends corroborating their stories. Remember, he is giving the friends all alibis. The friends have all taken themselves out of the story. We don't know Brad's side of the story. We don't really know why Brad's, decided to take the key and just leave Jay with Ayub, because Brad's never told us that side of it. We only heard it from Rachel. But I'm telling you now that Rachel and Ayub have definitely spoke. They got those sides of the stories to match, and then they both released those sides of the story. None of them were sure about the individual narratives within the official one. Why did Jay go to the Airbnb? Why did Jay leave the Airbnb? Why did Jay go the wrong way? Why did Jay send screenshots of his ping location instead of forwarding the location to the person he was speaking with? Like, all of these little things just doesn't make any sense. Another thing, like I said to you in part 2, that doesn't make any sense is Jay lying in a ditch cut by a cactus and making that call. Are you telling me he had fallen off the cliff by then? Come on, man. Like, what are these guys telling us? They don't actually know the official narrative. They have just literally waffled their way through this and have had people who, in my opinion, have been manipulated into the positions that they're in, like Chris Tenerife and Rachel, who have helped cover this up. Now, I don't think people like Chris Tenerife, as an example, intentionally come in to help them cover this up. I think Chris Tenerife came in with an open mind, looked at what actually happened and pointed to the same things that we pointed at, that something's happened to Jay and it's not looking good. He then disappears for a couple of days for whatever reason. And then he comes back as a new man, like Haley Comet says. And he's like, listen, let's draw out the maps. Let's go and search for Jay. All of the stuff I was talking about last week or the week before, that's all nonsense. It's all conspiracy. This never happened to Jay. That never happened to Jay. We just need to find him. So at that point, that makes me believe, well, Chris has been told that Jay is 100% there. If you went away for a few days and come back a new man and said, you know what, we're searching for Jay, and you found Jay there, but originally you was thinking, oh, someone's chucked his phone and this is not making sense and that's not making sense, then someone must have come to you, spoke to you within those days and gave you a bit of clarity on what actually happened to Jay. And along with that Down the Rapids video, who also says that's a good place to put a body there, I mean, it's starting to look like they all knew Jay was dead. They all knew Jay was dead. So clearly someone had told Chris Tenerife that Jay was dead. So from our perspective, it looks like Chris Tenerife's been paid off. But no, actually, Chris Tenerife's been given some factual information that the body's actually there. And that's why he's not going to stop searching until he finds the body. The body was found within the ping location, which was on the screenshots. So they could have got to that location. But like I told you, they used the screenshots for one reason and one reason only, to give that to the authorities to say that's where the body is, without saying that's where the body is. And I think that someone like a Rachel would have spoken personally with Chris Tenerife to let him know what the real crack is, because she would have probably got that information from Brad. And to a degree in this investigation, Brad and Rachel were trying to be open and honest about certain things behind closed doors. But at the same time, I do believe Rachel was still trying to cover things up to ensure that Brad never got caught, that Brad wasn't implicated, because she knew that Brad took that Snapchat picture. She knew it.
Like when he was right. Well, I never know. Obviously, I don't know. He's walking up the hill and that, but I'm kind of annoyed in a way. Like, not annoyed, but I wish that maybe even that woman, that Ophelia, could have said to him, like, she's driving up the hill. But she don't speak English, bro. They genuinely didn't speak English. But it's not hard.
So again, how did you know that she was with a husband and her son? How
To
do you
say,
know that?
hey, hombre, it's that way. Do you know what I'm saying? You're going that way. Do you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And when it did hit me, go on, sorry, you was going to say something. Guess what?
There's the cop who done the investigation. He says, well, he said that I know the reason why Jay left the house, but I won't disclose it. What does he mean? What do you think he means?
I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, even him and that, at the start, I thought he put my photo up, and I had like a conversation with him where I was like, mate, because he was like saying, because I'll put my number, and this is the reasons why I might not have my actual number and use it as the Airbnb thing. Because journalists started calling my auntie because I've used her number as an Airbnb. Do you know what I'm saying? I've got
So that doesn't make any sense. Why would you use your auntie's number as the Airbnb number? And how would they be able to contact you? What number would they have to contact you in an emergency? What would they do? They'll be contacting your auntie. In fact, Duncan Smith has done a segment on this part of this podcast, and he has broken it down. The setting up the Airbnb account and all of that. We're going to react to that because he makes it make so much more sense than Ayub can ever make it. The process wouldn't have went down the way Ayub claims it would have went down, especially saying that, you know, Roman, because that's who the agent of the Airbnb is, would have wanted to see his picture first. I mean, we have ID, passports, driving licenses for reasons. People have Airbnb accounts with no photos. What are we talking about, bro? But anyway, we're going to get there.
big habit of ringing people and saying, "Oh, I'm signing up for something. Give me the code that's just landed on your phone."
Yeah, I've done that. Netflix accounts, Amazon account.
But I hardly weren't happy, mate. You know, why have I got journalists ringing me? Why is my number being given out? You just fucking asked me for a code. What's this? Do you know what I mean? So he rang my auntie saying, "Oh, if I don't come forward, he's gonna start digging about and that." And I did bring him and I said, "Look, mate, like, do you know what I'm saying, chill out." You know what I'm saying? And I kind of did. And he said to me, "Look, I'm doing this for the family." So because he said he's doing it for the family, I've spoken to him under those reasons, under those pretenses. Do you know what I'm saying?
Bro, he's just chatting so much gas. That's just to make it look like you engaged with him because he was doing it for the family. Come on, bro. How can you say that when up until this point, which is the 12th of December 2024, you still haven't even spoke to the family? Debbie's confirmed that she had questions back in August. How are those questions not answered yet? And you're talking about family. And you're talking about speaking to Mark Williams Thomas because of the family. The cheek of it.
And I thought if it's going to make easier things for them, then why I spoke to him, you know what I'm saying?
And you didn't even say nothing to him, really. You didn't say nothing to him.
And it's like, I'm not going to withhold information, you know what I'm saying, from him. Like, at the same time, like, these same people will try and, like, even on TikTok, and then they're saying, oh, they're holding information, they're not saying everything. Yo, people don't want to talk because people don't want to talk about people's business. What, do you know what I'm saying? That, like,
again, he still hasn't really answered the first question. He's literally just gone off on another tangent.
I want you to go off topic and start going into everyone's individual business. Well, that's not my business, let alone anyone else's business. So who am I to talk on it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, people might be arguing about things, and someone might say, I clearly heard them like slag that person off, but I'll say, no, I ain't heard nothing, bro. Because why should I add more fuel to the fire? Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes if you keep your head down, bro, and just get out of people's dramas or business and that, you'll be all right, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So
the way he's saying this is like, say, he overheard a conversation with Jay's friends about Jay that could prove Jay had complications with people within his crew or people that he was there with. Like, what are you getting at with what you're saying? I really don't know.
That is like the answer to, like, yo, maybe I don't talk about other things that don't need talking about because I ain't got no right to dwell in, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dwell in anyone's, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a journalist.
Business, exactly. So again, he's kind of implying that, look, I've overheard a conversation. That conversation was about Jay and about things that he had done, and he was in trouble with some dons. And, you know, when you get in trouble for things that you've done, you've got to pay the consequences. You've got to pay the price. But it's not my business. It's not my business to tell you. Like, I can't, you know, dwell into that information because it's not mine to tell. Do you understand? That's basically what he's indirecting here. That's what I get from what he just said.
I'm not one that sticking my beak into everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, so you get a phone call, yeah?
Yeah, I told you then I was like,
You feel like, you know, yeah, you've done your bit.
yeah, I told him to wait. Why did he wait? Like, that's what I'm thinking at the time, remember? And then,
again, he's just trying to make sure that his brain is at the right point of the story, because you know how his brain works, doesn't know what's going on.
after that, obviously it's like 12:01 in the afternoon now. I can hear my pal, he's live, he's on the phone, talking to the boys in England, telling about his holiday. He's chilling. And then
Now he brings Rocky back into the equation.
randomly I heard the buzzer go off, and then he's like, yo. And then I come down and I saw Lucy at the door. And I was like, and she mentioned this as well in some other interview or some message. And she said, the first question I asked her was, how the f do you know where I live? And she's not lying. That is what I did ask her. Like, how the f do you know where I live? Because I'm literally in the mountains and you've just pinpointed where I was, like the exact thingy. And then she said, look, Jay, when he was here earlier, he took a snap of like thingy, and there was like a bit of grass, like the whole mountain that had grass on it. And they were like,
there was no way you were going to find that Airbnb through the picture that Jay put on his Snapchat, especially in the amount of time that she found it in. He just said that she got there in between 12 and 1 in the afternoon. She couldn't go to the ping location screenshots that Jay sent her 3 hours prior. Make it make sense. I'm just baffled how she found this Airbnb through a landscape picture.
growing olives, I don't know, growing something on there, whatever grows. And she clocked it from that. And and she said, like, the way the angle was, it could only be that. And in this Mascot, there's only like as you drive up, there's like 4 or 5 houses in like bunches. So
see, again, like that picture,
you can kind of work it out.
it's a point of reference for their story. This is what I was telling you guys before. The pictures that were put on Jay's Snapchat were point of references for the story and the narrative that Ayub was going to drip feed us. The charger, the cigarette, the blanket. That picture that Jay put on his Snapchat, there is no way you're going to be able to tell that that Airbnb is the place that Jay is supposedly at.
If you're astute, you know what I'm saying? And fair play to her, she is like, she was actually like, and she does get like a load of stick for everything and that, but she was like, yo, like front line, like even later on that night when it's actually hit us, like, yo, this guy is actually gone missing fully, like he's actually missing. We like were not climbing, but walking around the side of the mountains, and she was like front line.
Yeah, I don't understand, like that night when you realized he was actually missing, why was Lucy so concerned at 12 o'clock in the afternoon? Why was she at your door at 12 o'clock in the afternoon? Is it because Jay said he was cut by a cactus lying in a ditch? But then why are you not mentioning this at this point? Why have you not mentioned that you was told, or you've been told, that Jay had hurt himself or Jay was cut, and that's the reason why they were at your door, and you know there was an urgency to finding him because he was in that much danger? Like Ayub's not mentioning any of that whatsoever. It's like he's failed to remember that part.
Saying like leading us this way. No, we've got to go this way. We've got to go that way.
How did she get there? What
she got what post on Facebook or something. Because I asked the American woman, I said, who are you? Like, she was with an American.
He proper knows little bits of detail that he shouldn't really know. And that's what's extremely questionable.
American woman, and I was like, what's going on here? How do you know her? Like, what's going on? She said, she saw him. Lucy actually said, I posted it on Facebook, and she replied and said, I'm in Tenerife and I've got a car at the moment.
So that was at 12 and 1 o'clock in the afternoon. She's already posted on Facebook that Jay's missing at that point. Make that make sense. She only spoke to him 3 hours ago, more or less. All right, his battery had died, and she did claim that it was cut by a cactus. Why don't you just go straight to the ping location where the screenshots were? Again, he's not mentioning anything about that either. But they would have had that at that point, unless they didn't have that information at that point, and they created it the night he claims they went there. Because that would have been the same night that Debbie allegedly, according to the media, would have had a knock at her door to say that Jay's missing and she needs to get her ass to Tenerife. This is such a scam. I don't think people realize how much of a scam this is. And I ain't even talking about the GoFundMe, bruv. I'm just talking about the story as a whole. It's a massive scam, and it is a cover-up. And a young man, Jay SLATER, was taken away from his family, and these guys have no remorse. They don't care. They're still online scamming us just to save their own skin. That's just how it works, isn't it?
Help, fair play to her. So when she said,
what makes it worse is not even Ayub, it's the friends. It's Lucy, it's Brandon, it's Brad.
After, like, I said, how'd she, like, she didn't even tell me then how she found where my house was then. I'm still scratching my head. But she was like, where's Jay? Like, he's gone missing, and that he ain't, like, since I was speaking to him this morning. Like, and I was like, what? I was like, look, he was sleeping on that chair there, and his blanket and his pillow, like, the same way he was there, was left the way he was there. And I left it like that because I thought, hang on a minute, if this guy's missing.
Oh, yeah? And Lucy looked at that and said, oh, yeah, no, facts, absolutely facts. That looks like Jay was sleeping there. Yeah, I can see Jay's body print on the sofa. Absolutely. His blanket and his pillow. I thought it was Man's blanket and pillow from the Airbnb, but now it's his. All right, cool.
Left it there, do you know what I'm saying? That's my evidence. Like, but
that's your evidence. Bloody hell. Why'd you need evidence? Like, why are you moving so suspect-y? If you wouldn't have this on your conscience, you wouldn't actually say all of this extra stuff. It doesn't make any sense. You're saying extra stuff for no reason.
But did you think, like, you know, this guy leaving at this time off his face in the middle of nowhere, there's a chance he
would say he weren't off his face as into like, he weren't like, let's get that clear. It weren't like, it might have been off his face on them NRG videos 5 hours prior or 3 hours prior to thingy. But do you know what I'm saying? I was driving, so I was all right. But Rocky was sleeping and he was pretty much chilled. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously I've got videos of
sorry. So
you've got videos. Go on, he's always got videos. I've got videos of and Cullen interrupts him. What videos do you have now? Actually, it's probably the video that he sent over to Cullen with Rocky sleeping. And that is him saying he's got videos with an S at the end. You got videos. What videos have you got, bro?
What was the talk of the watch? The watch, because there was a snap
you know what? Everyone says all of this watch and whatnot, yeah? Like, me personally, I didn't see him with no watch. Do you know what I'm saying? And on that actual strip, bro, yeah, there's like bare Romanian guys, African guys selling fake watches, trying to offer you a fake watch, trying to sell you a fake watch, or that like you randomly see two lads coming out of the beach all bloodied up because bare guys jumped them for, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it happens over there, but mate, he didn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't see no watch on him per se.
Okay, so why would he then put a picture on his Snapchat in the back of the car that you was driving, saying that I'm with two Somali kids and I've just taken an AP and I'm about to sell it? Why would he do that? And you not know about it if you're actually rolling together? It makes no sense. Are you trying to tell me that Jay was delusional? Are you trying to say that Jay was just imagining all of this stuff and he was making it up as he goes along? No. The only person that's been making this up as we go along is you, man.
When you finally come to the realization he was missing, what, you know, what was your kind of
Sinking feeling, bro. Sinking feeling.
But did you as well think there's something, there could have been foul play? Like, because obviously at this time there's news that he has had trouble back at home. Is there that feeling? His mum gets a text saying,
I mean, yeah, like that got mentioned at the start, like during, like, do you know what I mean? His mum got messaged that, and I was like, because remember this got mentioned to me when because me, my pal, and the burning lot minus Jay and my mate all linked up together and went to go looking for him. Like, do you know what I'm saying? This guy and like working out, because naturally I'm thinking if he's at the bus stop and he's left mine, he must have gone here, down here to the right. You know what I'm saying? But little do I know that this guy has actually walked towards the mountain. I'm not comprehending that. You know what I'm saying? And I remember we was looking like just there, like, and it's all mad because it's slippery, there's bare cacti, it's muddy, like, you know what I'm saying? We've got the torches on our phone, we're going through just shouting Jay, because we thought maybe at night he'd be able to hear us. Because that's when, like, during the day, that's when my pal mentioned, Lucy spoke to him and said, like, he's like injured himself or something, or he's in a ditch or something, or he got scratched or cut by a cacti. I don't know what was the exact
You do know, stop lying.
scenario, but it weren't a good one. Do you know what I'm saying? Where he sent a location thingy to her, do you know what I'm saying, that morning. And it's a thingy where, like, if I would, and I was thinking, bro, if I knew he was going on some sort of hike or some sort of walk, or
A part of me feels like he is literally trying to play dumb as well. I swear to you, I feel like throughout this podcast, he is playing dumb.
I would have said, bro, there's a big bottle of water in the fridge. Why don't you just take that? Do you know what I'm saying? I genuinely thought he's going to be chilling at that bus stop, whether it comes for 10 minutes or it takes an hour. Do you know what I'm saying?
So there was water in the fridge. But remember, they got Pepsis and Sprite when they stopped off to get a kebab.
He's going to be
So I guess that water in the fridge was Rocky's water.
at that bus stop because he's got somewhere safe to. Then that bus would have taken him straight to where he wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the routes. So, like, yeah, bro, it's like you get like survivor's guilt. You feel like, yo, someone that was here with me 10 minutes ago, like, and no one's heard from him for like this, like coming up to 18 hours, like whole nearly 24 hours was nearly getting done. Do you know what I'm saying? And I remember and then going up the mountain, we saw some Guardia Civil officers, and from like Lucy started showing from the ping location, what was on her phone, asked the girl, he said maybe in that, and they were like, oh, look, we got this, and they kept like, because we actually flagged them off the road, you know what I mean? And fully like said to him, look, it's a really serious situation.
Well, you done that in the middle of the night. You flagged them off the road in the middle of the night.
Carl's been missing that. Can you help us out? You know what I'm saying? So they
we don't know what you're saying, mate. This sounds like pure BS.
And then from then they done we left them to them, their job and whatever. And then the next day, the cleaners come now. And then people are like, oh, why have I got a relationship with the cleaner? Why have I got a relationship with the cleaner? I got extra, then my Airbnb ran out that day. But through the cleaner, I managed to give her the cash and get an extra day because she rang the boss of who owns the thingy. And that, to me, gratitude-wise, like, whether you do big for me or small, I will thank you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just courtesy. Do you know what I'm saying? She was the one that told me, look, like, the next day that actually did leave, or the police have been around, and they want to chat to you regarding his missing and that. And I was like, all right, sweet. Get me their address. You know what I'm saying? So they got me their address in the main office in Played America. This was now the 18th. Remember, it's the next day now. And it's my birthday on the 19th. You know what I'm saying? So it's the 18th. It's 10 o'clock at night. I'm sitting at the police station. It was a bit mad because I'm like, said to them, yo, I'm here like for the missing persons case. And they were like, what you on about? I was like, oh, for the kid Jay that went missing this morning. And she was like, yeah, it's already been reported. It's cool. You can go. I was like, no. I've been called in as a witness. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, yeah, no, it's been reported. I'm like, no, I'll have to argue. I am here to give a witness statement. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to proper fight.
So
to give a
again, it's
witness.
like this is another way of making it look like the Guardia Civil or the police in Spain are just not doing their job correctly. Lucy made it look like the Guardia Civil hadn't done their job correctly. Chris Tenerife and his side chick were calling out the Guardia Civil, even though they was allegedly working on behalf of the Guardia Civil. Here we've got Ayub saying that they wasn't even investigating anything, more or less. They hadn't even spoke to him. He was told by Ophelia, I believe, or someone at the Airbnb that the police want to speak to him. So go down there and speak to him. Who would have told him that? Maybe Roman said to him, yeah, don't worry, bro, man, I've got you. I told them what the crack was. Just go down there, speak to them, make a little man statement, and everything good. You can fly back to your country, cuz you can fly back to the UK. But even based on what Ayub's saying now, it seems like the Guardia Civil didn't need Ayub's statement. They had everything that they needed, and that was Affilia's statement and the screenshots to show that Jay was last in this location. And that's all they needed to keep it as a missing persons case and a missing persons case only.
Statement. So it was in there, waited till like 12 for the translator. The translator landed, you know what I'm saying? And
you waited in there till 12. Maybe he's talking about the next day. Yeah, I think he's talking about, he's got to be the next day. It's not the day that, yeah, it's the next day or even the day after that.
She was like, you know what I'm saying? They weren't happy about, like, one thing I could feel from them, they weren't happy about people saying, oh, Spanish police this, Spanish police that, you know what I'm saying? And
hold on. They wasn't happy. The one thing you got from speaking to them after they didn't even want to speak to you because they didn't even know who you were because they believed they had all of the reports that they needed for the Jay SLATER case is that they wasn't happy with people speaking about the Spanish police in a bad way, in a bad light. Really?
And I could tell that just from like the way they were speaking and that. But on a different one though, like basically what I told you now, I've told them, but like into more detail, like, you know what I'm saying?
More detail. Sure thing, buddy. Sure thing. You went into more detail, blood. They didn't even want to get a report from you. You basically said you was forcing it upon them. Like you was forcing the report upon them and you gave them more detail than you've given Cullen. Even though you haven't even really given Cullen anything and we've been spending almost 2 hours on this fucking podcast.
When you're in one of those places and you're trying to help someone to get found, any little thing that can help their situation in that sort of manner, missing persons case.
Yeah, and what did you do to help the situation? What information did you have that helped them find Jay's body? What information did you have? What information did you give them?
I tried and helped them. You know what I'm saying? So I remember now I'm going to see my pal now, and my actual pal, the one I said, my pal that I'd come from England with, and my pal that I met Jay through, and they were on the strip, like, and they were like, I was messaging them through the interview and whatnot, and I see them, and then them same ones that them girls that was out with us the night before from Nottingham as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're like friends now. Do you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, sure thing, man. Sure
most
thing.
of them were like lesbian.
So
and
he
that.
basically confirms that in those early days of Jay going missing, Brandon was still on the strip mashing works, bro. And that's the reason why Brandon never come forward and made a statement. That's the reason why Brandon didn't provide any support to find Jay, looking for Jay. He didn't provide no support whatsoever. He was on the strip mashing works, making money.
So we weren't really on like
Yeah.
well, I might have had gone in with their attention like, yo, but they were like, no, we don't like guys. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's one of those ones like, cool, you might have rejected me, but we're still cool. Everyone's just vibing. Do you know what I'm saying? It's no hard feelings. We're chilling out.
What are you talking about? He's randomly talking about getting rejected by the Nottingham things because they're allegedly lesbians. Come on, bro. This is waffle, man.
And then I was telling them, oh, imagine
Even trying to look at his face.
the guy that was here with
too much
us
waffle.
last night, like the other night, I mean, not even last night, the other night, fucking he's gone missing and that. I just come back from the police station and they were like, what? No way. Like they couldn't believe it. Even they messaged me as well. Because you got to remember at this time, no one knows my face. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not on no newspaper or no TikTok or no nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? At this time. It was like maybe 3 weeks later, there was like a picture of me dancing, like, and I had the band from the event I went to. It was orange. Do you know what I'm saying? And then people were messaging me because people saying, who's this and that? But it was Jay's mate had a snap of us all. Do you know what I'm saying? So then I'm getting messages from people I know and that, and then they're saying, yo, what's going on here? Like, why they got you and that on there? And I was like, I don't know, mate. It's like, so no, obviously I do know. I went, oh, it's mad. Like, it's a guy that I know went missing. And I remember because on my birthday, like, I felt deflated because I thought, yo, how can I enjoy this birthday when someone's just gone missing? Do you know what I'm saying? It's not. And I just wanted to see my family and that. And do you know what I'm saying? So I come back England at the time. And the first thing I told them was like, yo, someone's gone missing. And then a month's gone by now. And I went back to Tenerife in that time and done another interview, this time with the Police Nationale. They wanted me to, and then they happened to text me. Because remember, I just left in a hurry because I didn't want to spend my birthday there. But I had to get some clothes and stuff that I left behind. And during that time, luckily, then the Police Nationale happened to text me on my WhatsApp and said, oh, we want to do can you come in for another interview? I don't know. There's like different police forces, in it. But I don't know what.
Mainland.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But either way, I just done it again because remember, bro, I ain't got.
Were they different? Did they have a different approach?
No, they were cool, bro. Like it was a police interview where it was like, you got to remember, because before all of this, they already know the guy's left, man. They already know, yo, this is not like we're dealing with a suspect, but we're dealing with a witness sort of angle. Do you know what I mean?
Do they feed in to any of these conspiracies or the information they're given? Are they asking?
Yeah, affiliate statement confirms that he left Shores, didn't it?
Any of these
And the screenshot location.
questions?
Nah, like, I mean, they mentioned the Rolex and that, like, what was that about? What's he on about? But same thing. And then, because they are from there and they know loads of people running around with fake ones, and you know what I'm saying, or they'll put a fake one in your hand and take your real one. I don't know, bro. Like, some of these pickpockets, bro, are well versed in what they're doing. That's why I always wear a side bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I know everything that I own at the time on me, like, to go out with is in my bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, but pretty much it was the same sort of vibe, same sort of interview. I had the same translator. You know what I'm saying?
Same old waffle, same old BS. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get it done in part 3s. Now, I'm going to promise you, we're going to do one more part to this. It's going to be 4 parts. Honestly, I think I'm going to do part 4. Part 4 is going to be the last part we do to this reaction video. It's the longest reaction I've actually done. We will be back for the 4th and the final episode from this podcast. We've also got other Jay Slater content as well that we're going to be releasing this week or over the next coming days. So make sure you turn your notification bells on, hit the like button, do subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.